Hi guys, and welcome to this week's tech tip. We're going to be covering something a bit different this week. We're going to mainly be focusing on how to add a schedule label to our multi-layer shop drawings. And the schedule label basically enables you to quantify everything that's identical and give it one common label. And then we'll also be able to reflect that back in the Revit schedule. So to get these labels, first thing we're going to have to do is run something called member distribution. So for those of you who are familiar with the older shop drawing engine, this command basically just adds a schedule label to the members. And this is a parameter that comes with the software and basically quantifies everything that's identical as one common label. So in the older shop drawing engine, this was done automatically. We are planning on adding this back in the next release. We know it is a big feature, but there is thankfully fairly easy way that we can add it right now. If I just go into my multi-layer drawing settings and I go to my framing elevation, there's a new feature that we added called smart tags. So what this lets you do is add Revit tags to specific elements. And at the moment, we do have one for structural framing. So if I enable this, I'm not having any other labels on my shop drawings, nothing else is selected. I'm just going to go ahead and enable those smart tags and just generate a quick shop drawing. So what the smart tag does at the moment is basically just show the size that we're using. But we're actually going to edit these smart tags and have it read that schedule label. So I'm going to go ahead and edit the family. This is what it'll come in looking like. And I can go ahead and modify that label. So we're basically adding a new parameter for that label to read. I'm going to add that new parameter and just select it from the list. So this is where knowing where our parameters live will come in handy. It's not going to populate automatically on this list. We're just going to have to hit edit and go ahead and find that parameter list. So depending on which year you're using, you'll just go back up a few folders and go to the Structsoft Solutions folder, enter the Revit tools and the year that you're using, of course. Go to Commands and go to the Families folder. So these MWF parameters is where our BMSF schedule label lives. And I can see it right there after I just redirect that path. Right there again. Say OK. And now it's added to my list. What I can basically do now, I'm going to add my schedule label over and don't really want the type name, so I can remove that back. Feel free to delete these lines. And what I'm actually going to do now is give this family a quick save. You can save it back to the families folders if you want, or just somewhere where it's easily available so you can bring it into other projects. And this is going to be my structural framing tag. So now that I've saved that, I'm going to go ahead and load this back into my project. I'll override its parameter values. And now you could already see it take on the schedule label. So we're going to repeat the same steps we just did, but we're going to create one for our structural columns. So once again, I'm just going to go back and edit the family. I'm going to go to my categories here. And instead of this being a framing tag, we're going to have it be a structural column tag. It's already using my schedule label param. So again, give the family a quick save, have it be accessible so you know where it is. And I'm going to go ahead and load this into my project. Last step, and then we'll be able to generate these drawings. Back to the smart tags. You should now have one for structural columns. I'm going to enable that. Save this out. And now when I go ahead and generate my shop drawings, everything's populated out automatically. And everything is reading my schedule label. If you are using some kind of framing cut list, you could always add that same schedule label back onto your Revit schedule, edit this out to have it quantify, and you'll be good to go from this point on. Last little tidbit, and then we'll wrap up this tech tip. For those of you not familiar with the schedule label, these always can be modified. Go directly to your installation folder, again, depending on the year that you're using, and in that path, you'll find a TXT file called tag mapping. So if you actually do double click on that, you'll see that based on the tag of the member, you can change the tag for your schedule label. So if I did want all my common studs, my SVs, to be labeled SV, I can always change this out, save my tag mapping file, and when I go ahead and rerun my member distribution, it will then take on that new labeling, and that's something that's also reflected in your shop drawing.